Welcome everybody, I'm Alexander Linz, head of content of WatchAdvisor.com, the largest search engine for wristwatches and official retailers on the net. And at Baselworld 2018, I am with Julien Tornare, the CEO of Zenith.
Exactly.
Welcome, Julien.
The brand.
Yeah, welcome, Julien. It's a pleasure to have you. Julien, I had an interview with Jean-Claude this morning. Beaver.
My boss?
Yeah, you've been a big boss. And Jean-Claude told me he is amazed about what's happening at Zenith. Innovation, creativity, everything is here. And all of a sudden there are back orders because you can't deliver what people's order. That things have changed a little bit. It was different before.
You know, I haven't been in this position for a long time.
Yeah.
It's 11 months.
Yeah.
But the shift between what I found out when I arrived and today is totally different.
Okay.
And when I say that, yes, we have many orders. Yes, we have DeFi doing fantastic. But the spirit inside the company, the same people I met 10 months ago, 11 months ago, are in a totally different mindset. So I believe we have a gold mine in our hands. We still have a lot to do. We're not there yet. We have a long way to go. But finally, we have the right bullets, and we can really move on positively. So I'm very happy.
And in terms of creativity, everybody seems to look ahead and look forward and say, okay, let's do something. How can you canalize or put everything together that is produced in the end and brought to a product? It's not only having ideas. It's not only being enthusiastic about something. You have to have products on the market. So what are your future visions for Zenith? What would you like Zenith to be in the next years?
I really would like to have Zenith as a brand being, of course, very proud of the history. We have 153 years of history. This is great. We should start from that, and we should respect that, the DNA, the heritage, where we come from. But we should express ourselves in the 21st century, meaning producing watches that are matching the taste and the desire of our clients from 21st century. So that's what basically the DeFi is doing.
Yeah.
We start from El Primero, very traditional, very iconic movement for us, translating now into the new iconic product. This was missing in the past. And we do it in a very contemporary way. So that has been the highlight of last year for sure, and continues now. Next to that, of course, we have the DeFi Lab. You remember this new oscillator that we presented? Everybody is asking about that. And I always told Mr. Beaver, I don't want this to remain a prototype. I want to convert it into a series, into part of that collection. So we are working on it. Hopefully, I can give you very good news by the end of the year. Maybe early 2019, but this will become the next piece with a very innovative system. So we continue to create, to innovate. I'm right now working a lot to implement a startup approach, because again, it's not because you're 153 years old that you need to continue working the same way. I want Zenith to be extremely dynamic on a 360 level. So the project itself is passionate.
If this sounds a little bit like if you're trying to make Zenith to get a little bit more younger in its appearance, more sexy. So how are you going to attract those maybe also younger customers? Are you having any specific ideas how you can do this? How to make them get enthusiastic about Zenith? It's also being about sex. It's sexiness needs to be there. Coolness needs to be there. And Zenith wasn't this so much in the last years.
No, there are a few things. I mean, first of all, many brands, they got stuck into their history, repeating the history. And for the last 15 years, they did not really question themselves. Why? Because the Chinese were there. The first generation of Chinese. They were buying massively. So many of these brands, they lost contact with the local clientele because they were selling to these first generation Chinese. Now it's interesting, and I actually met a 29-year-old guy 2 days ago that I know very well. I know his family, he's from China. And he was telling me exactly what I think about that. These young generation, the millennials, they studied abroad, they speak English, they are worldwide citizens, they go on internet more than anyone, so they are much closer than us, than their parents were, and also in their purchasing behavior. So they want to buy contemporary watches. They don't want to buy the watch of their parents, and more than anything, they don't want to pay overprice. They want to pay the real price. And in that meaning, I think Zenith has to be contemporary, modern, talking to people of this period of time, but also respecting our history. Here we are into chronometry. With the oscillator, we are in precision. So we stay in our field, but we communicate in a very modern way. To capitalize on that, on Zenith, we will organize events. where we will present our own perspective of innovation, what we do, what we are working on, what we will do. And we will invite some startup guys that made fantastic projects become reality for what I will call the Zenith 15-minute talk. And they will make a presentation as an external special guest. Nobody's done that. It's a nice approach. Everybody's interested in creativity, innovation, and startups. And I think the marriage between an old lady, 153 years old, but still dressing properly and nice and modern is something very strong.
We are a startup too.
I know.
Young. So
I know.
You can invite me.
So I do.
You can invite us. We come.
You are more than welcome, Alex. More
to
than
do something
welcome.
if you like. We have been bringing something together that's quite unique too.
I know.
Trying to bring this young generation to buy watches, to inform them, to entertain them, to do interviews with guys like you, to give them the possibility to see these guys who are running the business and to talk to them. Question, did the 29-year-old guy from China also tell you how important it is to be part of a certain group of brands that have history? Is history important for these young guys?
Very much.
Do they look?
Very much.
Yeah.
But what he told me most than anything, and I was really amazed because it's a perfect illustration of my strategy for Zenith. He told me, my father, he bought so many watches, but you know what? He paid them too expensive. He spent too much money on watches.
What kind of watches? Patek Philippe or what?
Beautiful brands, beautiful brands. Some of them I know very well because I knew his father. I knew his father. I sold watches to his father. I know. But he said, between my father's generation, our generation, we are more like you, like local clientele.
Okay.
We are much more savvy. We don't want to pay any price for any product. We want to know exactly what we're buying. And we will buy what is the right value for money, which the parents' generation, they did not. They became rich very quickly and they had a different approach. So it's interesting for me because he really told me, first of all, I don't want the watch of my parents. I don't want to buy the same watch like my parents or my grandparents. I want to buy a watch from my time and I want to buy them at the right price.
And history.
And when I showed him this, he was very amazed because very honestly, he didn't know Zenith very well.
Okay.
But I explained him about the El Primero, the fact that we are 100% manufactured, that we respect our long heritage and history, but we do it translated in contemporary pieces. Yeah. And this is exactly, I think, the right approach to talk to these Chinese millennials.
But I think it's not only sorry to interrupt you, but I think this will also fit on any European.
That was the end of my sentence.
South American, whatever.
Exactly. That's the worldwide citizen, and today we are in a world that goes so fast. Yeah. Everything is going so fast. So I'm not scared about connected watch. I don't think connected watch will kill, like some people were scared about the quartz revolution. I don't think so. I just think that people now, they want to see that brands are alive and the industry is alive. And there is a risk if we continue to only repeat the past, that the industry or the brands become museum industry or museum brands. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. I want to use my history, but to move on to the future.
As Jean-Claude said this morning, innovation, emotion, history, the mix of everything, make the things really going.
And meet the people. Meet the people. Yes. Because e-commerce is, important, is growing. Internet is fantastic. We have to be active there. But still, I'm spending a lot of my time on the markets because I came from the markets and I know the importance. But still, I'm going there to meet the people, to keep the relationship. I'm even working on creating a special app where I'll be able to be in direct contact with our salespeople in all the point of sales of Zenith in the world, and to a certain extent to the end client, because I'm not making so many watches. I could almost keep a personal relationship with many of them.
So you are going to have your own app?
Yeah, I'm going to work on that project. Yeah, I want first
Can I be part of it so I can always?
Yeah, but don't call me every day. Huh?
Well, sometimes. I will wake you up at night.
I will create a platform where I can communicate with them and keep some slots where, yes, they could FaceTime me during some slots, not every day at any time. But it's just to keep contact because this at the end makes the difference.
That's interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Good concept. What about e-commerce? Do you think it's the future for Zenith probably, or can it be the future? Is e-commerce, how important is the retailer today? Jean-Claude says he's not so important. Other groups like the Swatch Group say, the retailer is very important. The other ones say yes, no. What is your opinion?
I think on behalf of Zenith, I would say today the retailers are important. Why? Because we need a good balance between this omni-channel approach. Of course, e-commerce is there. Brands that are closing their eyes on e-commerce, it's like bespoke customization. It's in our time. We have to deal with this. Today, we are not yet doing direct e-commerce, but Zenith will go to that for sure. Mm-hmm. Today, we're already with JD.com, Tmall in China, Mr. Porter. So it's starting step by step anywhere. Boutiques, we need boutiques to welcome our clients in our own environment, to raise the brand image for sure. But the dealers are still making most of the job. Let's talk this way. And also, I believe that the end clients are still looking at some point for what they feel is a neutral approach, a neutral environment with 20 brands where they can have a neutral advice. When you enter a single brand boutique, you only go for that brand. It's a different perspective.
Then you made your mind up already.
Yeah,
then you go deep diving into the brand. That's probably the good thing then.
For sure. I think it's a question of balance.
Yeah.
And I can see now some brands that are going 100% retail. It might be challenging at some point. Yeah.
We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, of course.
Just a quick last question. Anything in the pipeline you want to tell me that could come in the next? Yeah. Are you going to continue focusing on DeFi or?
Okay. No, DeFi will remain, of course, a key line. Pilot as well. Pilot watches has a huge potential. We are the only brand to have the Pilot name on the dial, to be allowed to put the Pilot name. So a big potential. So my main focus will be DeFi and Pilot. Because even if Pilot is about vintage, but vintage is contemporary. Because vintage is cool today.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So Pilot, vintage for sure. Two other things to keep in mind. Of course, the new oscillator from DeFi Lab will come in an edition soon.
Will it be affordable?
Yes.
Yeah,
it will be affordable, but it's a unique system.
Yeah,
and it's the most precise mechanical watch. So we have not defined the price yet.
It's not going to be too expensive.
No, absolutely not.
Good.
We don't want to do that.
Okay.
And the second big thing I need to mention, of course, we are working hard on next year, because next year is the 50th anniversary of El Primero movement.
Okay.
So for us, it's a big deal. So far we had iconic movement, but we were missing an iconic product. I always told from the first day to Mr. Biver, the day we have an iconic product and an iconic movement and an iconic product, then we're going to make it happen. And this is going to be the iconic product for Zenith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then go back and
my pleasure.
Do some watches.
I will, and come back anytime. I'll keep you updated.
I think you have to go back and manufacture everything.
Yeah.
Now selling is one part, manufacturing is the other one, and then you have to bring it to the markets, of course.
Definitely.
But thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Congratulations also for the first big steps for Zenith.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward for the next ones, and keep the things going.
We'll keep you updated on everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing on our YouTube channel. And of course, please like our videos.